Hi everyone, Movie Recap Intelligence here. Today we are looking at the Black Rose movie recap. This action thriller isn't just about a serial killer profile, it's a story with deep life lessons about justice, and we've uncovered 3 powerful life lessons that'll completely shift your perspective. Trust me, watching this recap will feel rosy. The film opens in Los Angeles at night, as the sky glows over the city, but evil waits in the shadows. A young Russian woman walks out of a nightclub. As she's going, a shadow follows her. She turns, but it's too late. The attacker grabs her. She fights, but he overpowers her. Police officers stand over the body of a young woman at a dimly lit crime scene. Detective Matt Robinson remarks that the killer's work will hit every channel in time for the 6 o'clock news, calling him an artist. They note the victim has an ID and confirm she's another Russian girl. A note left on the body, translated later, reads, "You were sent to me by God." In the Hollywood Police Department briefing room, Detective Matt Robinson was asked to read aloud a scathing newspaper headline: "Hollywood Police Department stymied by serial killer. Murderer runs wild with impunity." The press labels the department inept. Captain Frank Delano addresses the team, acknowledging the obstacles. The Russian community in West Hollywood remains closed off, speaking little English or refusing to cooperate. He announces a new approach. He has spoken to the mayor and is bringing in an officer from Moscow to help build trust. Matt protests, arguing they have translators and do not need outside interference. The captain overrides him, explaining the Russian officer will share equal footing on the case and that everyone must cooperate. Matt insists the move sends the wrong message, that the department cannot solve the crime alone. The captain counters that it shows they will do anything to protect the community and prevent another Russian girl from dying. Meanwhile, in Moscow, we see why this officer is the man for the job. The film cuts to a high-stakes bank robbery. Armed men burst into a bank, shouting in Russian, "On the floor, money in the bag, fast!" They take hostages, killing one to make their point. Alarms blare. Police surround the building. Major Vladimir Kazatov, a hulking figure with a no-nonsense attitude, arrives on scene. Entering the bank without any weapon, Vladimir negotiates with the robbers to take him as hostage instead of the civilians in the bank. When negotiations fail, he takes decisive action, crashing through with a vehicle and engaging them in a brutal shootout. Guns blaze, robbers fall, and Vladimir saves the day, earning his reputation as a tough, effective officer. His boss sends him to the United States to solve the recurring murder case in LA. Major Vladimir Kazatov arrives at the airport in Los Angeles. Detective Antonio Manuel greets him warmly, joking about Russian stereotypes while offering to be his partner and tour guide in the little city of angels. They drive to the Pacific Ocean, where Vladimir admires the vast blue water, a rarity compared to Moscow's rivers. Antonio points out his favorite surfing spot with its gnarly beach break. At the police station, the captain introduces Vladimir, praising his impressive credentials and former Special Forces background. Vladimir returns the respect, noting the captain's Navy SEAL service in Iraq and Afghanistan. The captain explains the situation. The Russian community is not talking. The victims are all on visas. The killer may be Russian. He leaves cryptic messages in Russian and a black rose as his calling card. Captain Frank hands Vladimir a gun, joking about paperwork later, and Vladimir requests a larger one, drawing laughter. Matt Robinson enters, handed a list of potential Russian suspects. He offers minimal help. The captain suggests the team bond and get supplies. Antonio takes Vladimir for smoothies, but they stop at a diner. Vladimir spots 2 men harassing a woman, intervenes decisively and overpowers them despite their guns. Antonio is stunned by the body count, 1 dead, 1 crippled on Vladimir's first day. Vladimir explains they were bad men hurting a woman and that restraint was difficult when attacked. This makes Detective Antonio to resign as Vladimir's partner as his retirement is near. The captain understands Antonio and he also supports Vladimir's aggressive style, appreciating someone who pushes the line against criminals who exploit the system. Here is our first life lesson. When faced with immediate violence, decisive force stops it faster than restraint or negotiation ever could. But the case only gets worse as a news report announces the Black Rose killer has struck again, the sixth young Russian-American woman found murdered. In another briefing, the captain introduces Detective Emily Smith, a profiler, as Vladimir's new partner. Matt Robinson reacts with sarcasm. The captain notes the killer is growing bolder and taunting them. Emily and Vladimir drive together. She explains Valley Girl's speech patterns playfully. They visit a business where a previous victim worked, questioning the owner, who reluctantly reveals the victim frequented the Black Sea Club with other working girls. At the Black Sea Club, pulsating music plays. They show photos of victims. Staff deny knowledge initially, but one admits recognizing a victim. The owner, Natalia, arrives and stonewalls them, suggesting they contact her lawyer. A man delivers champagne with a black rose to Emily, along with a threatening note. The killer warns about sticking her neck out or it might get cut. The rose was handed by a mysterious man who told the man not to look at him. They question a mute bartender, Warren, but learn nothing immediately. Over burgers, Emily and Vladimir discuss the profile. As the detective profiler, Emily explains the psychology of a murderer, we see a massive plot twist brewing. The killer is a sadist who tortures but does not rape, possibly impotent or driven by compulsion rather than sexual gratification. Emily explains sadistic personality disorder and compares him to famous serial killers like Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Gary Ridgway, and Andre Chikatilo. Vladimir notes all were smart and dangerous. Later, back at the closed Black Sea Club, they break in illegally and discover a murdered waiter slashed in the restroom, another taunt. The owner, Natalia, is missing. Emily receives a phone call from the killer using Natalia's phone. Natalia begs for help in the background, terrified. The killer taunts Emily, forces Natalia to plead, then kills her on the line. Emily is shaken. Forensics find a stolen getaway car with the waiter's blood, but no fingerprints. The captain tries to remove Emily for her safety. She said she has to be there as she's the bait to draw the killer out. Vladimir says she needs her expertise. The captain agrees with both of them, and he asks them to be extremely cautious. Alone, Emily receives another call from the killer, who admires her and wants to meet her at a club on Hollywood Boulevard at midnight, alone or there will be consequences. Emily agrees, but informs Vladimir secretly. He insists on backing her up covertly. At the club, Emily waits. The killer calls, taunting her for not coming alone. He knows Vladimir is nearby. He directs her to the restroom, where she finds Natalia's tortured body with a black rose. Vladimir and Emily regroup, frustrated. The killer remains one step ahead. Emily stays at Vladimir's place for safety. Discussing clues, Emily realizes the killer spoke English to Natalia during the call. If both were Russian, why not Russian? The notes have poor grammar, suggesting the killer only pretends Russian proficiency. Vladimir shares a painful story. In Moscow, his partner Alex died during a botched operation when Vladimir surrendered his weapon to save him, but the criminal killed Alex anyway. He vows not to lose another partner. Emily recalls hearing a train during the killer's call to Natalia. Cross-referencing phone records and train schedules narrows the location to an abandoned harboring factory near downtown tracks. Also, they discover black roses can be faked by dyeing red ones in black ink. Our second lesson lands here. Tiny details that don't fit the assumed pattern often reveal the real truth. Vladimir and Emily arrive at the factory. They find vats of black ink and fresh dyed roses. Hearing noises, they split up. Vladimir finds a bound young woman, Sandra, from the club. But then, the unthinkable happens. The man they trust steps out of the shadows. He wasn't a stranger. He was one of their own. The killer, Detective Matt Robinson, emerges, holding her at gunpoint. Emily and Vladimir are surprised. He asks them to drop their weapons or he would kill the victim. They did, but Emily distracts him with psychological questions, and Vladimir shoots him when he refuses to surrender. Outside the crime scene, Captain Frank reveals Matt was transferred from San Francisco years ago. Background checks showed he visited Russia and was scammed in a mail-order bride scheme run by Natalia through the Black Sea Club. Rejected and humiliated by Russian women, Matt sought revenge on those he deemed parasites, prostitutes and their enablers, while sabotaging the investigation from inside. The ending explained why the killer chose a black rose as his signature. Here is our final life lesson. Unresolved personal humiliation can twist into blind hatred that destroys innocent lives. Think about that for a second. How often do we let a small humiliation turn into a lifelong grudge? The captain apologizes to Vladimir and Emily for the corruption within his department. In the aftermath, the captain honors Vladimir's work and wishes he would stay, but understands his heart is in Moscow. Emily and Vladimir share a flirtatious moment. He calls her the best and prettiest partner he's ever had. She teases about the language of love needing no words. He invites her to Moscow anytime. She accepts, joking about avoiding smelly fish pastries in favor of hamburgers and orange juice. The film closes on their budding connection as Vladimir prepares to return home. The case is resolved. These are the lessons this story leaves behind. In moments of immediate danger, hesitation only gives violence more time to grow. Small details we ignore often carry the truth we're desperate to find. And when personal humiliation is left unresolved, it doesn't disappear. It hardens into hatred that spills onto people who had nothing to do with it. Most people walk away from this story with one lesson. I'm curious, which one hit you the hardest? Drop a comment and let me know. Subscribe for videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you.